When it comes to soul music during the 1960s and early 1970s, a few performers dominated the R&B soul genre, but there was two groups that dominated the whole era. Both groups are from the same label, and they are the Temptations and the Supremes. Before we get started in today's video, please be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Florence Ballard was a junior at Northeastern High School in Detroit, Michigan in 1958. Here, she sang in her school choir along with a close friend named Mary Wilson. Flo was a resident of the Brewster Douglass housing projects. This was the same place where many people call home, such as Diana Ross, Mary Wilson, Lily Tomlin, and Edeline DeBarge, to name a few. In early 1958, Flo met Paul Williams and Eddie Kendricks of the Primes. She seized the chance and she sang for the duo. The Primes was pleased, and Paul's then girlfriend Betty McGlone also sang. So the group manager Milton Jenkins came up with the idea of forming the Primettes, which was a sister group of the Primes.
Florence Ballard was barely in her teens when being in the right place at the right time put her on the path of a singing career.
We were just sitting on the porch in the projects, minding our own business, and this red and white Cadillac passed by. And all of a sudden, this guy started looking in our direction. And I turned to her and I said, I guess this guy is looking at us.
That guy was Milton Jenkins, a local promoter and manager of a singing group called the Primes. On this day, he was scouting talent to put together a female version of the Primes, to be called the Primettes.
And I pointed to Flo, and he looked at her and he said, are you interested in singing?
Florence was definitely interested. She got her parents' permission to audition for Jenkins.
Flo put together the whole package. You know, she punched out the words, she got the melody right, she had rhythm. This is a cappella, you know, not with anyone behind her.
Flo informed her closest friend, Mary, about the group, so Mary auditioned for Jenkins and made the squad. Flo then told Mary to go ahead and grab another girl at the request of Jenkins, so Mary grabbed her neighbor, Diana Ross.
Jenkins was impressed. He asked Florence to recruit other girls to help fill out the group.
She asked me if I wanted to join the group, and I said, yeah, you know. So she said, well, they're going to ask Diane. You know Diane? I'm like, yeah, she lives right across the street.
Diane was Diana Ross. A friend named Betty McGlone rounded out the quartet. For their audition, Florence picked a Ray Charles tune called The Nighttime is the Right Time.
And so she started singing that. I chimed in, Diane chimed in, da-da-da. Then there's a part where the Raylettes comes in with this higher part. And so Diane just chimed in with that. And Betty and I were doing the backgrounds and we sang. And so when we finished, we were all like, wow, that was cool. I mean, this was the first time we started singing together.
Soon the Primettes were performing on weekends at sock hops, union halls, and local cabarets, sharing the stage with other young talents like future Temptations singer Otis Williams.
We were having fun. Cabarets and sock hops. We would meet up with them at, different places, oh, y'all leaving, or we just coming in to do it.
And we started doing cabarets. Oh, we were out of sight. They were throwing money at us. And don't think we didn't pick it up.
Ross, Ballard, Wilson, and McGlone completed the group lineup. Jenkins molded the girls into a female version of Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. This helped the group reputation in the mainstream as they was labeled as polished. He also put the girls to work by having them sing cover songs by Ray Charles and the Drifters at local clubs and talent events. Songwriter Jesse Greer provided tremendous advice for the group, which led the girls to gain local popularity. They also collaborated with local musician Marvin Taplin, who became the group's lead guitarist. With the inclusion of Marvin, this simple act defined the Primettes from any other group of its era. The group put that sound to use, and the girls, they won a talent show at the Untold Detroit and the National Freedom Festival on July 4th, 1960. Winning the festival talent contest provided the ladies a significant boost in motivation, as they had their sights set on recording a song and obtaining a record deal. Motown, being a local label and also on the rise, was a dream come true for many local performers. Smokey Robinson, a Motown songwriter, producer, and musician, resided in the same neighborhood as Diana Ross. Ross saw the opportunity and asked him if he can assist the group into getting an audition for Berry Gordy. Smokey made a bargain with the girls after hearing the group perform. He asked them if they would pass him their guitarist, he would secure them an audition with Gordy. The girls accept. Gordy enjoyed the girls' voices, but it was one drawback: they was too young. Gordy advised the girls to return once they completed high school, but the girls were too driven to give up so quickly, so they continued to work, but this time they would go 10 times harder. They gained the attention of a young label named Lupine Records. The group recorded 2 singles for the label, with Tears of Sorrow and Pretty Baby. Both singles failed to launch the group's career, although they did gain a lot of buzz locally. McGlone and Williams eventually broke up, and McGlone found love elsewhere. She would become engaged and eventually quit the group. Barbara Martin, which was a local vocalist, took the role of McGlone. The group wanted to be part of Motown so bad that they ultimately persuaded Berry Gordy to let them do hand claps and background vocals for many artists such as Marvin Gaye and Mary Wells. The Primettes done such a great job at delivering background vocals and hand claps that Gordy agreed to sign the group. And just like Gordy fashion, he signed the group, but only under one condition, and they had to change their names. Gordy gave Flo a list of names since she was the group's founding member. This list had names such as the Darlenes, the Sweet Peas, the Melanies, the Royal Tones, the Duets, and the Supremes. In the spring of 1962, Barbara Martin departed from the group to focus on her family, which left us behind with the famous trio that the world knows today. During the years of 1961 to 1963, the group released 3 singles with I Want a Guy,
One who will love me.
Butter Popcorn,
My baby likes
Your Heart Belongs to Me,
on some faraway sand. If you should get
My Heart Can't Take It No More,
and still care, I must admit,
and lastly, A Breathtaking God.
one night you held me tight and whispered in my
None of these songs landed on the top 40 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, and the Supremes, just like the Temptations, was called the no-hit Supremes around Motown.
By 1962, the Supremes were at a crossroads. They'd recorded a dozen singles without cracking the charts for a record company that ran on hits.
They were referred to as the no-hit Supremes, but they would be in their recording just like all the acts that Berry had at the time, trying to get that one that would put them on the map.
I don't even think our name appeared on the marquee. Everybody else's name was up there. Oh, we were just mad. We wanted to hit so bad we didn't know what to do.
Following this, the group took a break to concentrate on what they was missing. To compensate for not having successful songs, the girls will be paid Motown by giving them background vocals and claps for other artists on the label, such as Marvin Gaye and the Temptations, to mention a few. Meanwhile, the group, they was making some more adjustments, and they agreed to take turns singing lead. Mary's voice complemented Flo's vocals so perfectly, while Diana, destined to become popular at the hands of Berry Gordy. At this moment, the group found its sound, and on October 31st, 1963, the group released a song, When the Love Light Starts Shining Through His Eyes. This was the group's song that brought the Supremes to fame. Smokey Robinson and Berry Gordy wrote and produced the majority of the group's early material. The group soon began working with the legendary production and songwriting team of Holland Dozier and Holland in late 1963. The legendary producing team wrote a song for the Marvelettes in early 1964, but they declined, so the Supremes took it up, although they didn't like the song at first. They actually wanted a song like Please Mr. Postman, but they decided to do the song anyway, and turns out to be an excellent addition to the group repertoire. On June 17th, 1964, the group released Where Did Our Love Go?
Berry Gordy was determined to get them on the charts. He enlisted the songwriting team of Eddie and Brian Holland and Lamont Dozier.
We were very excited because they were like top writing team. We know now, hey, we're on our way, hey, no more no-hit Supremes, you know. We know that the other groups were saying this behind our backs.
This song became the beginning of a nice consecutive run for the group, with 4 #1 hit singles with Baby Love,
Baby love, my baby love, I need you, oh,
Come See About Me,
'cause I'm lonely for you, smiles have all.
Stop in the Name of Love,
Baby, I'm aware of where you go, each time you leave my.
This song was also nominated for a Grammy back in 1964 for Best Performance by a Group. And lastly, Back in My Arms Again.
All day long I hear my telephone ring, friends calling, giving.
Diana and Motown owner Berry Gordy began dating around this period, which was very wonderful on the outside looking in. But after Gordy and Ross started dating, Ross became the majority focus, and Wilson Ballard, along with many other artists from the label, was pushed to the side. This would result in a number of issues inside the group. Berry Gordy began collecting royalties for Motown's most popular artists at the time to help support the Supremes' career. Many Motown singers was dissatisfied with Gordy because they believed he spent too much time and attention on Ross. The group's genuine demise came with Gordy named Ross the group's official lead singer and the face of the group. Despite the fact that Flo was the founding member, Gordy made Flo feel unimportant. Gordy also changed the group name to Diana Ross and the Supremes in 1967. This was done in order to highlight Diana. People are unaware that placing the name of the most popular or lead vocalist before the group allows the label to charge more money because the audience is receiving 2 separate acts, the lead and then the group. Meanwhile, Diana is basking in the limelight. Flo is struggling with depression. Flo started to skip recording sessions in the middle of 1967.
So, you know, once we became famous, people kind of just as not people, me and Diane assumed that she was going to get over it. Yeah. But when the pressures then start coming in from the outside of being a star now, all of a sudden, you know, this really kind of Florence was just it was even, you know, it was just horrible for her, and she could not adjust to what was going on. So eventually, yes, she did start drinking. So I told Florence's story only because I got very upset when people said, "Oh, one of the Supremes was an alcoholic, and then she got so fat, and she was this, and she was that." You know, I was like, "How cruel can people be when they don't understand why people drink?" And so I thought, because Florence is no longer here, that I should have the voice to say what happened, and she wouldn't mind.
The group embarked on the hunt for a successor. They went through several singers before finding the proper one. The Supremes gave Marlene Barrow and Barbara Randolph a chance. Gordy approached Cindy Birdsong, who was a member of Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, in April of 1967. Patti LaBelle and Diana Ross had a spat around this period. LaBelle accused the group of copying their clothes and stage performance.
Oh, Cindy Birdsong was Patti LaBelle, was Sarah Dash, Nona Hendrix, Cindy Birdsong, and Patti LaBelle. We're in Cleveland. Oh my Lord, I forgot this real story. We're in Cleveland, ready to go on. There are only 3 Patti LaBelle members. Cindy Birdsong had gone to take Florence Ballard's place with the Supremes. They had been rehearsing her for months, and that night she left us. Oh,
to join the Supremes?
She left us to go with the Supremes. She jumped ship big time.
Gordy informed Flo of his ambition for the group. Dissatisfied with the outcome, Flo opted to leave on her own terms so they couldn't dismiss her. Despite Flo's departure, friction remained inside the group. The Supremes albums, from Reflection in 1967 to The Wait in 1968, Cindy and Mary were barely featured on these albums. These albums was essentially Diana Ross. After Flo left, Gordy rolled out the red carpet for Diana Ross to become the star that he desired her to be. In 1968, Holland Dozier Holland, along with Mickey Stevenson, departed the label, and many artists' quality in their music began to deteriorate. Gordy wanted to minimize any potential harm to Ross' career, so he began arranging a solo career for her by the end of 1968 to the early 1969. The group needed to find someone who was capable of filling Ross's shoes, so Motown chose 24-year-old Jean Terrell to replace Ross. Ross made her final appearance as a member of the Supremes on January 14, 1970. Previously, Gordy attempted to replace Terrell with Sarita Wright, but Mary refused. So now that Ross is solo, Gordy told the group that he was completely done with them. The first post-Ross album was released on April 26, 1970, titled Right On. This album peaked at number 25 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 4 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. During the new Supremes era, the group had 5 major hits that was charted, including Up the Ladder to the Roof, Stone Love, Nathan Jones,
As I recall, and you walk slowly,
Blow Joy,
your joy,
and Automatically Sunshine.
is automatically yours and my way. No road is too rough to.
Due to the group's poor performance on the charts, plus a lack of promotion from the label, Jean Terrell was officially replaced by Sherry Payne. Birdsong departed the Supremes in April of 1972 and was later replaced by Linda Lawrence. Birdsong shortly returned after Linda left in 1973. Birdsong left again in 1976 and she was replaced by Susan Green. At this time, Wilson been a member of the Supremes for almost 20 years, and she witnessed member after member come and go. She desired to bet on herself and go solo. Sherry and Susan, they hoped to replace Wilson with Joyce Vincent, but Berry Gordy decided to disband the group if there was no original members that remained. And as a result, the Supremes conducted a farewell performance on June 12, 1977. The original Supremes was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988. 3 of their songs was admitted to the Grammy Hall of Fame, with Radar Love Go and You Keep Me Hanging On, both in 1999, and Stop in the Name of Love in 2001. The group was selected as one of 8 recipients of the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammy Awards in 2023. In 1994, the group got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and in 1998, they was inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame. The Rolling Stone magazine ranked the group 97th on a list of 100 greatest artists of all time in 2004. The Supremes was a great female group from the 60s. They basically was the female version of the Temptations. The Supremes was so successful that they had inspired films and plays, and these plays and movies were so successful that they was later remade. Dreamgirls in 1981 and later in 2006, along with Sparkle in 1976 and later on in 2012. Now, did you know that the remake of Sparkle wasn't supposed to come out in 2012, and in fact, Jordan Sparks wasn't even intended, and in fact, Jordan Sparks wasn't even intended to star in the film. Instead, the directors planned to cast R&B singer Aaliyah, but due to her death in 2001, it forced the project to be postponed until 2012. Betty McGlone passed away of diabetes in January of 2008 at the age of 66. Barbara Martin passed away in March of 2020 at the age of 76. Florence Ballard passed away at the age of 32 from a coronary thrombosis, which is basically a blood clot in her arteries. Mary Wilson passed away in her sleep from high blood pressure at the age of 76 on February 8th, 2021. The Supremes is a fantastic group that influenced many black female groups, including the 3 Degrees, the Emotions, the Pointer Sisters, En Vogue, TLC, and Destiny Child, to name a few. These groups that I mentioned are legendary, and if not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they are future Hall of Famers. That is an outstanding list of artists to be influenced by one single group.